Hello, chronic illness warriors. Dawn Super here from Going Beyond Coping, and I help people cope with chronic illness and pain. I have 9 of my own disorders for many decades. They're in the comments, the caption, if you want to read what I'm dealing with. Today is surviving the holidays with chronic illness and pain. As I was putting together the notes for this, I decided to do it in 3 parts so that the videos aren't too long. So this first one is going to focus on other people and coping with other people during the holiday season. It's good for normies too. You don't have to have chronic pain to benefit from these little coping strategies. So in addition to dealing with symptoms, the things that go on in our mind can really tax our symptoms. And I've spent the better part of the last 8 years getting right in my head and learning new mental coping strategies that make me less anxious, depressed, etc. And I've shared these with my friends, and they've found them beneficial as well. So they've encouraged me to get a holiday coping video together, and here we are. So the first thing I want to talk about is the phrase, "It's all in your head." I got angry about that phrase for a long time because it's perceived as your illness is psychosomatic, meaning there's nothing really wrong with you, you just think you're sick. And once you get a block on something like that, you can take it like a dog with a bone and just never let it in a different way. So today, I want to encourage you to embrace the phrase, "It's all in your head." Because when you're feeling symptoms, when you're feeling negative emotions, when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling great, all of that stuff starts inside of your head. And especially for chronic illness, once you start to get sleepy or your pain levels start to increase, it's almost like as the symptoms increase, you decrease. And so concentrating on the fact that this is all taking place in your head, the thoughts you have make you have feelings which bring on symptoms. If I get into an argument with someone, I am tired almost instantly. I get that little adrenaline spike and then crash city. So the calmer I keep myself, the more in check I keep myself, the less I activate that sympathetic nervous system. If you're sciencey and want to look that up, the sympathetic nervous system is fight, flight, fawn, freeze, and I can't remember what the last one is. And that's what keeps you like, oh, you gotta stay alive, run from the bear. And it's the parasympathetic nervous system where rest and healing happens. And so the more you can keep yourself calm and out of that sympathetic state, the better off your symptoms are going to be. You're not going to aggravate them more. So knowing yourself, I talk about this a lot. Knowing yourself is the primary coping strategy because everything happens up here. So if you know who you are up here, that whole "sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me," which is true to a point. But if you haven't gotten this down, and you haven't gotten this down, then words hurt worse. Trust me. I've seen this side and this side of it. And when you don't know who you are and you don't know what you're all about and you don't accept that you're doing the best that you can in any given moment, then the words of others hurt. They hurt more. And so being able to say, "No, that's not me. I don't do that or think that or feel that," is ideal. You do that first. You reject the notion first. And then you can go back and, well, is there any truth to what they said? And if there is, you can either work on it to fix it, or if it doesn't need to be fixed, it's just a perception issue, You can work on changing the perception of the other person so they don't continue to see you that way. So, social situations for the holidays. You're going to family parties, you're going to company parties, you're seeing people that you know, and you're seeing strangers. Lots of interacting going on. It's important that you remember no one knows what's in your head. They don't know. They don't know if you're feeling insecure. They don't know if you're feeling confident. They only know what you portray. They really can't read your mind. Some people, it seems like they can't, but they can't read your mind. So the first thing in the knowing yourself coping strategy is roll call. So when you're in class, the teacher calls out everybody's name. And when you hear your name, you're here, you're present, and you're identifying with the thing that they're saying. They're saying your name. You're saying, yes, that's my name. When performers are on stage, especially comedians, they'll do things like, who in here is over 50? And people are supposed to clap if they're over 50. And the people who aren't 50 are just like, oh, that's not me. I ain't clapping. And in roll call, all the other kids, oh, that's not my name. I'm not raising my hand. And if you do that when people are talking to you, it's in a way knowing yourself. You're saying, oh, no, that's not me. You can think that if you want to think that. It's not like your name is going to be inappropriately assigned by the teacher and you're going to start getting all these other grades mixed in with your grade because someone thinks there's something that you're not. It's all a mind game. Someone says something to you, you accept it or you don't. There really is no in between. You either say, yes, that is me, or no, that's not me. You can say, yes, that's me, but I'm working on changing it. You can say, no, that's not me, but I wish it was me. Whatever the thing is, it's you who decides that. Other people don't decide you're lazy or anything else. You decide. The next one is the game show buzzer. This one's fun, but it's all inside of your head. Don't do this out loud, or you won't be invited back to parties. So, sorry, still chest coldy here. So when someone's talking to you, let's say your illness or your pain comes up, and they say something that's completely incorrect. You're at a holiday party. It's not your job to correct everyone's perception of you or your illness or your circumstances. So when someone says something that's not accurate, just think in your head, just like they do in a game show when the person answers the question wrong. You don't even have to say anything to the people if they say something like, take narcolepsy, for example. Oh, yeah, I knew someone who had that, and they went vegan and cured themselves. Not possible. You don't need to tell them it's not possible. You're probably never going to see that person again, or only see them once a year. It doesn't really matter what they think. What they think does not affect you as a person. Now, in a different social setting, you may want to take the time to explain that narcolepsy is a lifelong condition and no one has been cured from it. There are different types that are caused by different reasons: hypocretin deficiency, traumatic brain injury. You don't know what that person was experiencing, and they may have had something else other than narcolepsy. They may never have been diagnosed with narcolepsy. The variables are endless. Just don't. I do that all the time. People say things even in my regular life. No, that's not right. I don't need to correct them. I think I did a video about correcting people. I might have just thought about doing a video, dreamed about it or something. We have a tendency to do that too. If you've ever gotten in a fight with someone over something they did in one of your dreams, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so the roll call and the game show. Those are great coping strategies, especially for people that you don't see very often and are not that attached to. That judgmental aunt who thinks you should be doing something differently, or the cousins that just don't understand, or co-workers, spouses, whatever. The list is endless of people who are not going to understand you. And the sooner you realize that it's all in your head and you're the only one who knows what's going on in your head, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, the sooner you can give people the space to just be themselves and leave you out of it. Okay, the next coping strategy is boundaries. No is a magical word. Live in your bubble, and snow globe those closest to you. All right, so boundaries are a big deal in life, especially with coping with chronic illness. And I knew about boundaries in my 30s. And I still remember being at the therapy appointment and saying, "You mean I can say no?" And they were like, "Yes, you can say no." And I was like, wow. But I never did. I never left there and had them say, "Oh, are you going to do holiday dinner for the entire family again?" No. Because I wanted to be the one in the kitchen and I just wanted help. But boundaries, I should have insisted on help or said no. And I never did it. And all that resentment that built up could have been avoided by having proper boundaries. So now that I understand them a lot better and how to apply them, I don't have those situations in my life anymore. So do some Google searches. How do I improve my boundaries? Watch some Brene Brown videos on YouTube. They're free. You can listen while you're doing dishes or whatever else you have to do that doesn't require you to be paying full attention to it. And grow. You can't bloom if you don't water yourself and tend your soil, and then once you do, you can bloom. So bloom. Okay, so boundaries are magical, and saying no is a big deal. And it's important when you say no that you do so with an incredible conviction. No, I'm definitely not doing that. You don't have to be mean about it or nasty or anything else. And people will try and throw guilt at you and reason at you and all this other stuff. And you just say no. The first time you do it, it's kind of scary. You get like little pangy things of fear. But once the person accepts your no and you move past it, then you're like, wow, I so need more of this. Let's throw boundaries everywhere. And before you know it, your life is a lot more peaceful than it had ever been. So I've talked before about energy, and that's a sciencey thing and a woo-woo thing. We're all surrounded by energy fields that can be measured on equipment. And people talk about positive energy and negative energy. Either way, it's all happening around your little meat suit. Think of it, your energy, as a meat suit force field. And once you can get Jedi about it, you can learn to control your force field. And some people call it a happy bubble, whatever it is that you want to call it, but you live in there. And just like you can reject the words of others, you can teach yourself to reject the energy of others. And that's just by keeping your energy field happy, positive, feeling good. And it's not an easy thing to do until you apply it regularly. Once you apply it regularly, it becomes a lot more easy. So in the beginning, you'll be practicing. And a great way to practice is driving. If you're driving either as a passenger or as a driver in the car, there are people around you who are experiencing emotions, and some of them share those emotions with you. And being able to be like, I get that you're totally freaked out about what just happened, but I'm just going to keep having my good day in my little happy bubble, and I'm not going to let you bother me. And that's taking back your power. Raging along with the rager is giving up your power. You were in a great mood. You were listening to music. You were enjoying the ride. And then this person came and stole your happy. They just ran right off with it and you let them. And that is boom. Wow. Once you realize that, once you get that, everything happens in your head. It's all in your head. It's everything that's happening is happening in your head. Someone's raging at you, you don't have to accept that. You can ignore it. Like, you're not going to see that person ever again. They didn't hit you. You're not filling out paperwork. They were just a jerk in traffic, and so let them go on their jerky way, and you keep coping and being you. So you've got your energy bubble, and one thing that I like to think about, okay, so you've got the people who are closest to you, and sometimes the people that are closest to you are not in a good space. And you don't want to keep them out of your bubble completely with all the people that you really don't care for. So I mentally create these little snow globes. So I'll use my dog as an example because I won't offend anyone in my house using my dog. So the dog is being annoying or barking or whatever he's doing, and I keep him in a little bubble just on the outside of my force field. And he's still close to me. I still love him. He's still protected by the outside of my force field, but he's not inside. I'm not letting the dog barking ruin my day, or even if he woke me up, especially if he woke me up, the dog goes straight into the bubble. Like, I don't want to smash your bubble, but I definitely need you outside. I need to get back to me and to the way I want to feel, not the way that the barking dog is like pulling me into feeling. I want to hold on to me. And if you can do that, if you can have the dog wake you up, experience that adrenaline rush, feel that intense rage. If you have narcolepsy, that's something that a lot of us have to deal with. And rationalize with yourself, okay, you're only angry because your brain is spitting chemicals all over the place, and there's nothing to be angry about. Dogs bark. You can deal with this. Everything is fine. And the sooner you get to believing that everything is fine, the sooner everything calms down and the less chance you have of exacerbating your symptoms. If you get up, start yelling at the dog and mad at the world and raging on and expressing all those feelings, you can't, I'm not saying don't feel your feelings, okay? Because we don't want to suppress anything here. We don't want to deny anything here. We just want to accept the fact that had the dog not woken us up, we wouldn't be angry right now. So our anger is directly connected to the dog waking us up. And if we give it a few minutes, we may feel very differently. So we're trusting that ahead of the few minutes because it's a pattern. It's something that happens to you regularly. So if you can get ahead of the pattern, you can break the reaction that usually happens. And that's not something you can learn in your doctor's office. That's something you have to put through the U filter and apply directly and only to you because your meat suit operates differently than everyone else's does. So you can listen to all this stuff and you can read all these books and watch all the videos and take all the seminars you want. But unless you're applying these things, unless you're trying them, I get so excited when my friends tell me, oh my God, I did the snow globe thing. I was at a party and this person, and I put them right in the snow globe and I was able to have fun still for the rest of the party. That's the kind of stuff that changes your life. Having that power, empowering yourself to not give away your power to other people, to not give away your good feelings just because something else has happened in your periphery. Okay, the last one is, there's two more. Life is a sitcom. Let go of the script, mute the TV, and then eventually turn the TV off. I talked about this in one of my other videos. Um, when you're watching a sitcom, I really don't enjoy sitcoms. I think that the storylines are too forced, and I don't like canned laughter. And especially when the laugh doesn't seem deserved enough, I guess is a good way to put it. So I can watch a sitcom almost, I don't want to say clinically because that's not the right word, but my brain is not giving me the right word now. I can see it as what it is, scripted television. I can see actors saying lines, and sitcoms are usually only a half an hour, and the storyline doesn't typically carry from episode to episode. So there's not a ton of depth, and there's not a ton of continuity that you have to deal with. So you don't have to pay attention as much. And that's really like going to a cocktail party. I mean, the characters are the same, but you have no idea what they're going to say. And they're going to say some really stupid things that other people shouldn't be laughing at, but they are. And when you can see the similarities, you can treat it the same way you would a sitcom. You can listen to the characters say their lines and think, God, you had all year to write this, and that's the best line you could come up with. Whatever thoughts that you have to have about it. Some characters you don't like on the show, some are obnoxious, some have. Most television characters have obvious fatal flaws, and they do that intentionally. So when you're looking at the people at the cocktail party that you have to go to because it's the holiday, you can look at them and see them as flawed, because we all are. Every one of us are flawed. And we're all just doing the best we can. And my perception of how someone else is doing could be vastly different of someone else's perception of the way the same person is doing. Because everything happens in your own head. Judgment, insecurity, all those things come from the thoughts that you have in your head. So if you keep your thoughts good and play along with yourself in terms of the things other people say that upset you, because that's primarily what it is, right? Like, you're not going to a holiday party worrying about someone over complimenting you. You're going to a holiday party worrying about being judged. You're walking through your life worrying about being judged. Judged for being late, judged for not having enough makeup on, judged for not wearing the right outfit, judged for leaving early, judged for the food you're choosing at the party, judged for the way you sit in your chair, judged for standing up too much, for sitting down too much. I mean, the judgment is endless. It's never going to stop. So the only way you can survive judgment is by knowing yourself and rejecting the judgment of others. I do have a video on that. What happens if I don't accept the judgment of others? If you wanted to go back through the channel and watch that one. Muting the sitcom. So you're at a party and someone is saying some things that you're just like, I cannot even believe these words are coming out of your mouth right now. Just let them talk. There's no social convention rule that says that you need to participate in their drama. When they're done talking, you can use phrases like, I can see why you would think that. Doesn't mean you think that. It just means you can see how they got there. Okay, dumb idea plus dumb idea equals horrible opinion. I can see why you would think that. But you just say, I can see why you would think that, and let it go. Excuse yourself, walk away from it. Participating in toxicity will really aggravate your symptoms, whether you realize that or not. The last thing is, and try to wrap this up quickly here, to raise your vibration. Now, we talked about the energy field, and that's sciencey or that's woo-woo, depending on what camp you're in. But either way, your energy has a frequency. A great way that I heard it was phone calls go through on a frequency. So you pick up a line, they pick up a line, and you're automatically talking to each other, and that happens over a frequency. So your energy around your body and your force field and your bubble um, is dictated by what you're thinking about and how you're feeling inside of your meat suit. The meat suit cockpit controls the electrical environment around the meat suit. How's that for crazy? Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. But if you do little subtle experiments, you can prove this to yourself. You can easily do experiments and play around with your vibration, see what happens, and understand on a fundamental level that it's all in your head. That if you're driving down the road and you're feeling really good, your vibration is high, you're happy, you're having fun, you're looking forward. And then someone cuts you off, and oh, now you're mad, and oh, we almost had an accident, and oh, my insurance would have gone up, and I would have had to go to traffic school, and all these other variables. And now your energy is just filled with all this chaos and negativity. And that filters out. Just like the good, happy stuff filters out, so does the negative. Emotional contagion is a thing. And if someone near you is tripping out, stick them in their little snow globe. That you have all these snow globes floating around you now at this point, with everyone that you love who's upset you inside the little snow globe attached to your happy bubble. This stuff works. I know it sounds really out there, but the more you can work with your reality in here and get yourself to understand that what you think about dictates how you feel, and how you feel dictates your symptoms, you can find yourself being happy like all the time. I know, it's crazy. Fill your life with gratitude for the things that you do have, and know yourself, and be a good person, and just keep walking through the world doing the best that you can. That's my message for you today. That's how you survive the holidays. Know yourself, protect yourself, enjoy yourself, and that's it. I'll do another one of these. Part 2, I'll talk about surviving the holidays with chronic illness and pain, but talk more about dealing with symptoms during the holidays, and making social appearances despite symptoms, etc. Not sure when I'll get to it. This one was kind of impromptu, so sooner than later, subscribe and you'll know. I don't know which side it's on. I need to figure that out. Is to subscribe on the breed side. Get tired already. It's like 8:30 in the morning and I need a nap. All right, I gotta go do my day gig. That's it, people. Make it a great day. The choice is always yours.